Hey Joe fans, I'm JoeFan82 here with some movie news. As you might have heard, Paramount and Hasbro are planning a new Snake Eyes origin movie, and details on the film have been under wraps for a while until the other day. The hashtagshow.com got some new details. Now, you might want to take this with a grain of salt, as we know with film, things can change all the time. So I'm going to read to you what they posted on their site, and we'll see what you think. Here we go. So this is the first little bit of what they said, and this was on hashtagshow.com. It says, "It was recently reported that Ray Park, who played Snake Eyes in the two previous G.I. Joe films, would not be returning for the origin film, as the studio is looking for a younger actor, preferably someone in their early 20s. When we meet this new, younger Snake Eyes, it'll be as a street fighter in Peru. Driven by the desire to avenge the death of his father, Snake Eyes is apparently a man on the move until he ends up in Japan, where he and his best friend, Tommy, aka Storm Shadow, will begin their training with the Arashikage clan. The film will see at least 3 of the clan's legendary masters as they train Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, as Hard Master, Soft Master, and Blind Master are all set to appear. Also present at the Arashikage compound is the film's female lead, Akita. In comic continuity, Junko Akita, or Junko, was an apprentice and lover of Storm Shadow. Here, she is the head of security and will be a love interest for Snake Eyes." And it goes on to say, "Of course, if it's a G.I. Joe movie, Cobra must somehow be present, and in this instance, their presence is made manifest in what appears to be a character created for the film, Kenta. Kenta is revealed to be Storm Shadow's brother, who has long since left the family, the Arashikage, and joined with a rival ninja clan, the Kurayami. It is Kenta who attempts to lure Snake Eyes away from the Arashikage and into a terrorist plot being devised by Cobra. We won't delve too deeply into spoiler territory here, but we can see what side of things Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow will take, and this film certainly seems to set the stage for one of the great comic book rivalries." And the last little bit here says, "Snake Eyes will feature an almost entirely Asian cast, Snake Eyes being one obvious exception, featuring at least 9 lead and supporting roles for which they are only seeking Asian talent. Director Robert Schwenke, I'm not sure on the pronunciation of that, is currently in talks to helm the project, and should things work out between the two sides, we could expect casting to begin shortly after business resumes in Hollywood in 2019. So that was a lot of stuff to unpack, right? I've seen lots of people, and for years people have been speculating and talking about what they want in a movie, and now with this these new details that may or may not be true. I'm sure there's some truth to it. Whether that's going to end up on screen or not, we don't know. Looks like some people are in on this chat. Hey, Big Easy 77, Benny, Fighting Type Trainer. Hey, hey guys, happy holidays. Benny, yeah, HasCon has been postponed. We saw that today. Surprising, but not surprising. So yeah, these details on this movie are interesting, to say the least. Now, this does not say that they will not be showing Snake Eyes in the military, and being in the military with Stalker, Storm Shadow, etc. It didn't say that there won't be that, but that was not included in this description. So my feeling is that they, according to this, if this is true, that won't be in the movie, that we won't see that at all. that something else, that his father died for reasons, and then it goes on from there. He's on the run, on the move, and he's a street fighter, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm still kind of processing this. I know a lot of you will hate all of this. A lot of people that I've seen, especially the diehard OG fans, you guys only want the OG 13 characters, and that's it. Anything else is not worth screen time. I've seen other people say the movie needs to be not even a Real American Hero continuity. It's kind of all over the place as far as people's opinions, but you know what they say about opinions, everybody's got one. So yeah, what is another thing that's interesting about this is they are drawing this from the later comics. This was in the Devil's Due Publishing issue of Master and Apprentice 2. This miniseries introduced the character that they referenced, Junko Akita, who is Storm Shadow's apprentice and love interest. And according to this synopsis that we just heard, she will be in the film as probably a sort of love triangle thing between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. That's what I'm picturing. And in my head, I'm seeing that driving wedge between the two of them, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, and then Storm Shadow joins Cobra, maybe Junko dies, Snake Eyes joins G.I. Joe, and it goes on from there. So that's interesting. The other thing that they said is they are creating a character for the film, Storm Shadow's brother, which could work. It might be great, or it might be terrible. I don't know. I have to see more to know. Yeah, that's so. As much as we want to see Sunbow on the screen or Larry Hama's comic on the screen, what we want might not necessarily be what the general audience needs to see to become new fans, to generate new fandom. Maybe the route they're going is what will entice the general audience to go and see the film. You could argue that Rise of Cobra and Retaliation were successful, which I think they were financially successful, not as big as we wanted them to be, or the studio wanted them to be, or Hasbro wanted them to be, but they also did not permeate social consciousness the way that G.I. Joe did back in the 80s. They want something that's going to have Transformers-like appeal and appeal to as many people as possible internationally. G.I. Joe, 99% sure G.I. Joe will never be a Real American Hero on the big screen. There's just too much money to be made overseas, and that title probably won't appeal, to the other markets. Hey guys, lots of activity there in the chat. Thanks for jumping on. Fighting Type Trainer says new characters equals new figures. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. So that's always great. Maybe we'll see some figures besides those normal core characters that we always see. So yeah, so that's another good point. Having a film with Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and a couple other Masters and one or two others, and then the rest all new characters. If they have a big toy line, that's a lot of new figures. I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Thanks for raising that, Fighting Type Trainer. Mike Adams, hey, thanks for tuning in. Big Easy 77. Wow, wish these Hollywood guys would read the comics or watch the cartoon. Um, yeah, you you have to wonder. I don't know who they said who the screenwriter is. And it's a hard to pronounce name. I'm not going to butcher it. You can look it up. I'll put the link for this article in the description. Yeah, so it's some very interesting news about the movie. Now, again, this could change. They changed stuff for Retaliation before that was released, if you'll recall. And they even pushed that movie back. Every movie has reshoots. They could decide, they could film the whole movie and then in test screenings realize, oh, we really need to show Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow in the military with Stalker. And they might have reshoots and go and film that. That's a possibility. We don't know. I think it is not a great idea to get your hopes up that what we're going to see is going to be our perfect idea of a G.I. Joe movie. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to see everything that I want to see. I think it's possible to see different versions of what could be a great G.I. Joe movie. I, for one, I know not everybody's going to agree with this. I, for one, would love to see a live-action version of the animated movie. I think that would be very interesting, very nice to see that story with modern special effects in live action. I think that could be really cool. That's just me. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. And that's okay. We all have different opinions. Some people would like to see the first few issues of G.I. Joe, Larry Hama's comic run on screen. And that could be great too. Having Cobra be this mysterious organization we know nothing about. That could be good. Some of these stories actually play better to a television series or mini-series rather than a 2-hour movie, if you know what I mean. Larry Hama's writing was very serialized and not really confined to a short time span. So it almost lends itself more to a series. So yeah, that's the latest news here for the movie. I'll just check the chat again here. Action Figure Expert says, you guys are going a little fast here. Let's hope they do not change the style of the figures. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping when they do release a line for the new movie that they do the same style that we've seen for the last 10 years. I would love to see, the same style so we don't have something completely different. Now, that's a whole nother conversation about if they stick with this scale, the 1/18th scale, or do 6-inch, or both, or whatever. That's a whole nother conversation. Action Figure Expert. We got a good G.I. Joe movie. It's called Expendables 2. Oh, you're right. I saw somebody else pointed out, I saw it somewhere, that Tears of the Sun was a good G.I. Joe movie. And I actually thought that. If you've seen the movie, it stars Bruce Willis, and I believe he's in Africa. And it didn't have a terrorist organization determined to rule the world, but the good guy characters, Bruce Willis and his team, you could have substituted G.I. Joe code names in there, and they could have been G.I. Joe. It looked really good. So I would check that out if I were you, if you're looking for something to watch. Blue Bushido, a live action movie of the animated movie would confuse people. Well, yeah, but wouldn't it be cool to see? That's my opinion, yeah. Well, along those lines, some people say that the terrorist element of Cobra is what is causing hesitation on Hasbro and Paramount's part for pushing G.I. Joe. But what if the answer to that is Cobra-La? What if they embrace Cobra-La as this enemy? So it's not terrorism, but it can still sort of be Cobra. Who knows? Big Easy agrees with me. Live action version of the cartoon. Blue Bushido, please no John Chu movies. Yeah, I think John Chu is no longer involved with G.I. Joe. I think he's done. The new director, I said it earlier, you can look it up. It's somebody else. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's the new news. Let me know what you guys think if you're watching this after this stream is over. What do you guys think about this news? Do you agree with it? What do you want to see in the new movie? Do you think this is a good idea to do a Snake Eyes origin movie, or do you think it should be all G.I. Joe from the beginning? And this is, from all accounts, a reboot. It does not have anything to do with Rise of Cobra or Retaliation. So that's it for this news. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope you're having a great time with your family and friends, and I hope you get a lot of nice presents and gifts for yourself, and you've given great gifts to other people. And I hope everyone stays safe and has a great time. I'm not sure if I will have another video before the end of the year. I'm going out of town next week, so odds are I won't. If I do not, I hope all of you have a great holiday, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.